We climbed mountains so high, it seemed as if we would... Santa Claus, you drunk or something, man? Dude.
Do you have too much milk and cookies?
As you know, I have many jobs. I am a librarian's assistant, so I actually work in the children's department, so I read an awful lot of children's books and YA novels and things. So I read to my kids every once in a while. It's been a minute since I've read to this one here, but Quintin's gonna get to read with me a little Polar Express. And really make sure you subscribe to my channel. And you know, if you like things like this, if you want to see more of things like this, leave me a comment down below. I think I'm gonna do little book readings and book reviews pretty soon, pretty often. So just tell me down below what children's books you want me to read, because that's what I like to read, children's books. Okay, so let's go to the store. Express.
It's the Polar Express.
The Polar Express.
I like the hot chocolate song. That's my favorite part. Hot.
Okay. The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. Oh wait, that's the illustrator. Written and illustrated. Duh, look, I can't read. Must have been drinking too much beer. Okay. The Polar Express. Shh, can I read it?
Okay, just gonna take it.
Talking about. Okay, I'm reading to you. The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound. A sound a friend told me I'd never hear. The ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There's no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night I'd hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked in my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. Yes.
I was confused where you were. I was trying to keep alive.
It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it, and a conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest and looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe, and I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. "All aboard!" the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. "Well," he said, "are you coming?" "Where?" I asked. "Why, to the North Pole, of course," was his answer. "This is the Polar Express." I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard to the train.
That doesn't happen in the movie. He just says no, and later on he goes onto the train.
I know, they have to make it dramatic though. You know?
Yes, my favorite part.
The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa, as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. All the way north. Through a lot of ice. Look at the wolves.
They're gonna have a little movie to get reindeer.
Soon, there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forest, where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon, but the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. Have you ever been on a roller coaster?
Not like the ones that go shing.
Because you're short. That's right, I forgot.
Yeah. I can only go on the ones that go up and down.
Well, one day,
Yeah.
the mountains turned into hills, and the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed barren desert of ice, great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance, and they looked like lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on frozen sea. There, said the conductor. It's the North Pole. Look at it. Bling, bling. Oh, see, they didn't get the exciting ice travel that they did, huh?
Yeah, they did.
That was so much fun. You know, they have to make the movie so much more dramatic so that you will sit there and watch it for 2 hours. Yeah?
Yeah, they had an ice skater. They're on it, and they started to break because guys who worked the train did this stupid thing. So it broke the ice and the water, and then they're driving on the water. Like the back of the train was driving on water. It was cool.
The North Pole. It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first we saw no elves. They were gathering at the center of the city. The conductors told us that this is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who receives the first gift of Christmas? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Look, shouted one of the children. The elves! Outside we saw hundreds of elves, and our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole.
Mom?
We slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no further, we stopped, and the conductor led us outside.
Mom, in the movie, there's actually not one person did it. Actually, a girl did look, and another boy did elves in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be different. Always gonna be different. The books, most of the time, books are better than the movies.
Yes.
Yeah. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of the large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and, pointing to me, he said, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up, and I sat on Santa's knee, and he asked, "Now, what would you like for Christmas?"
I really like.
What do you want?
I don't know.
You don't know? Good, because you didn't get nothing. Okay, I knew. What?
Can you say something?
Not for me anyway. Santa Claus better bring everything. I knew that I could have any gift that I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled, and then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa, and he stood holding the bell high above him and called out, "The first gift of Christmas."
Mom, that didn't happen on the movie. The bell fell off and the boy caught it in his hand. And he went up to Santa and gave it to it, but he gave it to the boy. So, that's what happened.
I'm just reading the book the way it was written. Okay. This is the writer. The writer is the one that he's the one that invented it.
The movie should be just like this.
Well, they didn't do that. They messed up. A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh and Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air, and Santa circled once above us and disappeared into the cold, dark polar sky.
You could be like Dancer and Prancer, Comet and Cupid. Rest. Dancer and Prancer and Comet and Cupid.
Okay.
And Vixen and Prixie. And Rudolph.
Rudolph is not a thing. He was made up by the Hollywood.
And Prixie, I think. But
I don't know. Can we go back to the story?
Yes.
Is that possible?
Yes.
As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa's sleigh. "Let's hurry outside and look for it," one of the children said. But the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home. Aww.
We're still gonna get it.
It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. "What?" I yelled out. He cupped his hands around his mouth. "Merry Christmas!" he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from his whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell. There was a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C." I shook the bell and it made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," my father said, "it's broken." When I'd shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell. But as years passed, it felt silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear the sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe. That is it for our reading, for the Christmas reading. If you liked it, please subscribe down below. Give me a thumbs up. Like it. Share it with your friends. And do come back and do some more reading with me. And for other videos, this is Quintin. My name's Shay. See you soon. Thanks for watching.
Do it.
Bye.